Hello, dear friends. In the last days I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams. And I will show wonders in heaven above and signs on the earth beneath. Acts 2:17-21. Opinion piece. Joy without purpose. Beyond duality. Synonym of health. The joy of existence. 2025 year of awakening. Essential nature of being. Everything is falling apart. Let's start. Joy without purpose is a state of plenitude and lasting peace that exists within ourselves, independent of any external cause. It is an ineffable and an unalterable happiness that is always present, but is often veiled from our perception. Adults are happy when we get something and depressed when we lose something. Children, on the other hand, are happy just by existing until the ego comes along, and they only get happy when they get their toy or throw a tantrum when they don't get what they want. Jan Klein explains that this joy is revealed when we free ourselves from the ego's perspective and place ourselves in pure consciousness. In this state, we no longer seek happiness in external objects or experiences, but rather we recognize our true nature as pure consciousness. Jan Klein suggests that this joy is revealed when we understand that the objects and experiences we seek are only ideas and perceptions, not the real source of happiness. By recognizing this, we free ourselves from the constant search for satisfaction in the outside world and discover the fulfillment that already exists within us. Objectless joy is not dependent on external objects. Unlike ordinary happiness, it is not tied to any external cause or condition and can always be present. It is a state of inherent to your being, which simply needs to be discovered and free us from the problems created by the personal or ego perspective. This level of consciousness is beyond duality, as it transcends the distinction between subject and object, reflecting the non-duality of Vedanta Advaita. Joy. The joy of existence is a deep feeling of happiness and satisfaction that arises from the very awareness of being and being alive, regardless of external circumstances. It is a state that goes beyond monetary joy, manifesting itself as an inherent quality of the human spirit. It is an invitation to live fully in the present, finding satisfaction in the simple fact of being. This joy is related to the understanding of the purpose of life, and is characterized by being an internal and lasting experience, not conditioned by external events, arising from communion with the divine or the realization of true spiritual nature, and manifesting itself even in adverse situations, as demonstrated by the example of the apostles who rejoiced despite suffering. In Hindu philosophy, this concept is expressed as Ananda, which is part of the triad Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, joy. This perspective sees joy as a fundamental aspect of ultimate reality, suggesting that happiness is the essential nature of beings. Messages. According to Judith Castle, everything is falling apart. We have entered the time of the great scattering, where everything seems to fragment, dissolve, and everything we once knew as real is dissipated and dissolved between our fingers, even the old self. According to Kashyarash, the light has taken over the world, regardless of what you see outside of yourself. I think many still forget one simple thing. Humankind has the higher forces of the universe on its side, by divine decree, while the dark few have no one. And now they are even getting lost among themselves. According to Keshe, again, if you are aware of ascension, that the old Earth program is coming to an end and that you are entering the fifth dimension, that is truly the greatest knowledge that anyone can have at this time. You must continue to use this knowledge to further expansion as you go through this paradigm shift. According to Patricia Cota Robles, the Legions of Light are announcing 2025 as the year of awakening and manifestation. Despite the chaos arising in the outer world, we are asked to pay attention to the positive things that are coming into our sphere of consciousness. Then we will confirm this truth for ourselves. In other words, don't focus on the bombardment of negativity that is designed to polarize people and perpetuate fear and separation. Focus instead on the evidence of positive changes happening everywhere. When your attention is there, you are. Where your attention is, there you are. Empower only what you want to co-create in your life, not the things you don't want. Final fight. According to Benjamin Fulford, the final showdown with the Chinese deep state begins. The secret war for planet Earth is reaching its climax as the wicked attempt to derail the Trump presidency scheduled for January 20th. The goal would be to maintain control over the financial system and therefore the planet. The White Hats handed over a proposal for the takeover of the financial system to Asian secret societies. This letter has been written to propose a new framework for managing the planet and the biosphere we share. It says that the current system is dysfunctional and needs to be replaced. At the same time, the wicked are creating wars all over the world. They are the controllers of private central banks and 90% of international corporations. If no agreement is reached in this regard, the Western White Hats would declare war on the Chinese deep state. There are already signs that a major confrontation is taking place in East Asia. China has sent a fleet of 10,000 GPS-switched fishing boats, in quotes, to the Japanese-held Senkaku Islands. In addition, members of the Rothschild family are said to have fled to Japan and Taiwan, seeking protection from Asian royalty. They fled after the murder in Los Angeles of Will the Rothschild, a member of the French branch of that family. This means that the confrontation with the Taiwan-based Chinese deep state and the Japanese deep state would be unavoidable. Mission. According to the letter, According to the letter, the White Dragon Society and its Eastern allies are on the cusp of overthrowing these people from power. This is what the election of Donald Trump would represent. They are now proposing to create a global agency for planning the future that would take over the IMF, the World Bank, and the Bank for International Settlements, etc. Queen Elizabeth II negotiated with Asian royalty an agreement that from now on our purpose as a species would be to increase the quantity and variety of life, including human life. As a first task, the agency would plan a massive campaign to end poverty and stop environmental destruction. The White Hats of the Western military-industrial complex propose using the gold they possess to fund the agency. The plan would be to issue money backed by that gold and split it 50-50 with Asia to fund the agency's projects, while the Asians fund their own humanitarian initiatives. In addition to this, the White Dragon Society proposes replacing the current UN Security Council with a new group. The idea would be for representatives from 7 regions to decide matters affecting the entire planet by majority vote. The proposed regions are Africa, the Americas, China, East Asia, excluding China, but including Oceania, and Europe, including Russia, India, and the Muslim world. The other proposal is that we begin the new world system with a Jubilee type event. This would involve a one-time cancellation of all debt, public and private, as well as a redistribution of assets. The details would have to be negotiated with the full participation of the world public. The Space Force says that if agreement can be reached on this new system and world peace is achieved, the quarantine of this planet would be lifted. This proposal is supported by the US military, the British Commonwealth, the Russians, the Vatican, and others. Economy. According to Judy Pinkton, the quantum financial system QFS is set to officially take over, ushering in the largest wealth transfer in human history. Quantum security enforcement. According to Ethan Blanco, banks that transitioned from SWIFT to QFS underwent rigorous security checks overseen by cyber teams. Any bank that resists the transition is blacklisted and has its assets frozen. According to Mike Adams, Donald Trump has announced that he will unleash a global trade war by imposing huge tariffs on all countries that join the BRICS. This strategy will fail, but will cause enormous economic damage in the process. As the world moves towards a multipolar future, leaders still live in the past, believing they can force the entire planet to obey through coercion and threats. Starlink, Basel III, and ISO 20022 are revolutionizing traditional banking, redefining financial security, and forcing a new era of speed, compliance, and global connectivity. While Basel III focuses on strengthening financial institutions themselves, ISO 20022 focuses on the way they communicate. Starlink's role goes beyond providing access to the internet. It acts as an underlying infrastructure that enables the full potential of Basel III and ISO 20022 to be realized. This new financial order is not without its challenges. The road to compliance is arduous, and the costs of transformation are high, but the benefits are undeniable. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.